9 o'clock on a Monday night. You are now live with me, G3. Hi! How was your weekend, guys? O, di ba nakaside you? I was very proud of my contour today. And I'm already semi-way to drunk because this happens to be so strong and I'm drinking it from a straw. This is Mix Mojo's Moscow Mule and it's such a potent drink. And they made it a point to send me the drinks ahead. I mean, like, they want me to be the first to always try their new mixes. So yeah, I tried it like 30 minutes earlier because I wanted to pregame. Mond is here. Hi, Mond. I'll intro you properly. I just want to thank everyone that's here first. I want to wait for Rufa if Rufa's here. Gusto niyo ba naka-side view talaga ako para alam mo yun. Ganyan. So yeah, so I want to thank first Mix Mojo PH, my official drink sponsor. Sordeo Adrenal and PJ Adrenal. And my bustier is from Unarichi, House of Unarichi. It's at Trist in Power Plant in Rockwell. So tonight we are going to talk to two very, very sexy people, independent, sexy people. And the first one being like somebody that, you know, everyone admires for the incredible, incredible transformation. I mean, like, everybody has seen what he has become, the weight he has lost, and, you know, now he's such a hottie, one of the hottest guys in the country. And of course, we are talking about none other than Mond Gutierrez. So he's here. Wait, let's check first who's here. I'm waiting for Rufa. Gusto ko nandito si Rufa. Is she here? So like Mond and I have a very close professional relationship. Like I work with him as a director. I work with him as a host. And yeah, I mean like, as professional can be, that's Mond for you. And, you know, like a lot of people think that he's very intimidating, that, you know, because he's very tall and towering and he's always very fierce. But, you know, he's really one of the warmest people I know. Like he will always greet you with a smile and a compliment. And, you know, like he will really make you feel like you are somebody that matters to him. So that's the kind of person he really is. And I really wanted to interview him because I wanted all of you to know what kind of a person Mond is, that he's very warm and, you know, very welcoming. He's not a snob, he's not intimidating. He is actually a very warm person. I mean, like, I don't know if he will admit that, but, you know, he is actually... Hi, Bubbles! Bubbles is here. So, okay, let's talk to Mond now. Where is Mond? I saw him, he said hi, not there. So, once again, on Live with G3, I'm so happy he said hi. This is the king of the scene, Mond Gutierrez. He's here. Wait, let's see. Hi!
Hi.
Pulang-pula.
I love your look.
I love yours. Are you like naka-hunch ka? You're probably too tall for your camera.
Yeah, here. Okay, there.
Ayan. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you, Mond?
I never do this.
What? You never do this?
I never do this.
Wait, thank you for saying yes. Why did you say yes?
Well, first of all, it was you who asked me. So, and I noticed that, you know, your talk show was getting so much traction. Everybody was guesting on it. So I was kind of like honored that you asked me. I'm like, oh, G3 wants me on her show.
Siyempre, tier one. Hi, tier one. Say hi to Ash Rai, and Maha
Hi,
Salvador.
Ash. Hi, Bubs. My sister's always fashionably late. So she said she was going to watch, but I think she's late.
Maha Salvador is also here.
Yeah, but Sarah
Ayan na
said
si Rupa.
Ah, she's there? Oh, hey.
Yeah. Maha and I are watching. So,
Hi,
Mond, how has your quarantine been? Where are you quarantining at this moment?
I'm by myself. I'm with my dog, and we've been quarantining together for the past 6 months. I'm just here in my condo, and well, I feel like quarantine has been so long. I forgot what life was like before quarantine.
But that was just March.
Yes, since March. Yeah.
What was the last party you organized?
Actually, I remember the lockdown very clearly because it was 2 days before Chard and Sarah's wedding.
Yes.
So it was on the Friday, and then Sunday they were supposed to get married. So I remember it very clearly because we had to shut down the wedding, we had to cancel the wedding, and that was the beginning of lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Sarah and she said na parang what's important is they still got married. I mean, like at the end
Yeah.
of it all, diba, the important
Yeah.
thing is that they got married.
Yeah.
I didn't know your involvement in terms of planning the wedding, the execution. How much were you involved?
Well, actually, Ash and I were planning the after party. So we were producing so we were producing the after party. So we were heavily involved in that aspect. So we were in all the meetings. Of course, we asked Chard and Sarah what they wanted for the party, and we had some inputs. So obviously, we had our suppliers, and we had to talk to our people. Na, canceled muna, but everybody understood naman.
Yes. And looking back, syempre, di ba, parang mas safe pa nga in March kaysa now. Now, everybody's going out, di ba? Eh, mas safe pa talaga in March. But of course, that was such a sound judgment, and I applaud the couple for doing exactly that, di ba? But like I said, like in my intro, like, if you want a party to be done well, you want Mond to do it. Like, you've never been to a party unless you've been to a Mond Gutierrez party. It's like the best party. I mean, like, I've attended a couple of your parties, and it's really, really the most fun. So, like, in terms of, being, like the king of the scene and, the party boy, I mean, like, do you feel that that's something that is a laurel on your head, or do you feel it's something that people look down on you upon? How do you feel about being the crowned king of the party scene of Manila?
Well, I've been working in nightlife for quite some time, so I think throwing events and throwing parties and being social comes so naturally to me. It doesn't feel like work, so that's why I feel like the energy in my parties is always so fun because it doesn't feel forced. Everybody who's there, I want to be there. People who are there, I personally have a connection with. And I want to thank you for attending a lot of my parties.
Dr. Ivy. Happy birthday, Dr. Ivy.
Hi, Doc Ivy. Happy birthday. I look like this because of Doc Ivy. So thank you so much. But yeah, so it comes naturally to me. I think in the beginning when I started becoming a partner in the nightclubs and throwing parties, a lot of people in show business were like, but ginagawa ni Mond yan? Like, party boy na siya? Like, I feel like they think of it differently, but they don't think of it as a business.
Yes.
And for me, it's just another lane of what I can do. Like growing up, everything that I wanted to do, I wanted to be the best at it. So when I was offered to be a partner with Eric Hua to open 71 Gramercy, I really wanted my parties to be the best. Like, I remember I threw a party called Sorry Mom, It's Fridays.
Yeah.
And then, so that became kind of like the
for
banner
Annabelle
night.
yun? For Tita Annabelle.
Yeah.
Wait, are you drinking? Wait,
so whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. So yun lang naman yun. So that's why now I appreciate it when people, call me that and appreciate going to my parties because there's a lot of work that goes into throwing an event. Hindi siya madaling gawin. So, it might look fun in the surface level, but a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of things are happening.
There's a lot of legwork involved. Wait, are you drinking?
Yeah.
What is your mix tonight?
So I have Chivas Regal.
Ang class!
Actually, yeah. So I'm only drinking when it's like a big celebration. So because this is my first IG live with G3.
Yay!
Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers! Kampay Mon!
Yeah.
Okay, so diba you mentioned earlier about Chard and Sarah's wedding and your involvement, and I saw talaga in your post that they got married in BGC, and it was such an intimate, solemn affair, but it was so happy. I could see kasi from the face that your face, I could see in your face, kasi ikaw yung pinakamalaking ngiti doon, and you never smile in your photos. Diba? I always tell you, you're always so fierce in your photos. That's people who think that you're intimidating. So lately, you've been smiling a lot in your photos, and I noticed. So
Actually, I remember that.
I
remember when you told me that, I made a conscious effort. I'm like, actually, tama si G3, I look like an asshole because I never smile in my photos. So after you said that to me, I was like, maybe I should try smiling. So now you notice I have a lot of smiling photos because of you.
Yeah. But that also goes to show that you're very happy in your life right now. But again, like you said kanina, parang you were very involved in the planning of the after party of Sarah and Chard's wedding. Of course, they
Yeah.
got married. They now have a family, two beautiful boys, diba? When you look at Chard and when you look at Sarah, do you feel that that's something that you also want for yourself? I mean, like a family and like kids, maybe. Is that something that
Hell
you
no.
envision in your future? High five!
I mean, I love my nieces and nephews, but I cannot. Like, it's not something for me.
Do you have a favorite nephew or niece? Shit, si
Wala,
Rufa,
wala.
nanonood si Rufa ha? Ha?
I can't say that. I mean, I love them all equally, but honestly, like, I was just at the farm with Chard and Sarah, and
Oh.
like 2 days with kids is a lot. Like, I really don't. Like, I have so much respect for moms and dads because it's something that I cannot do. Like, maybe I'm just so focused on myself right now. And I still
Okay.
want to do so many things. And I think it comes in different parts of your life. But when I saw them with kids, I'm just like, and especially now, pandemic, so you also have to be the teacher, right? So
Yes.
kailangan ikaw din yung magtuturo ng homework nila, ng assignments nila. I'm
Yes.
like, oh my God, like, I
Hindi
have
mo
so much
kaya.
respect for parents right now.
True. So si
But it's
Presley lang
something that
talaga. Si
I
Presley
don't
lang
see
ang
myself.
baby.
Ha?
Si Presley lang yung baby mo.
Si Presley lang yung baby ko. She's here with me. Yeah.
Wait, why did you call him Presley? Is it because your dad is the Elvis of the Philippines?
Yeah, so it was inspired by my dad because my dad has a photo of Elvis Presley in the house and with him in the 60s. And then I felt like Presley could be a gender neutral name. So I thought it'd be cool to name my female dog Presley.
Why don't you just call her a bitch? Di ba ganun naman ang female dog?
Yeah, she is a bitch though. She's a bitch. She's like the
Cheers to
she's the
Presley.
yeah, she's the it dog of Rockwell.
Ayan, it dog of Rockwell. Cheers to Presley, the it dog of
Cheers.
Rockwell. Cheers. Are you really drinking? You're not naman drinking eh.
No, I'm drinking. This is real
Okay.
alcohol.
So in terms of it dogs and it people, like you're friends with the it crowd and the it girls, diba? If you were to rank the girls according to beauty and relevance,
Uy, wag naman.
gusto mo bang gawin yon? Wag na lang, no? Parang
Wag na,
masyado.
wag na.
Diba?
Wag na.
But of course, diba? How do you decide like who is? Especially you're a very very well known taste maker, diba? Parang when you say something is cool, everybody will think that it's cool. So what would you say are your qualifications on deciding what are the things that are cool? Like right now, what are the cool things in the pandemic? Is it sushi bake? Hindi na, diba?
It had a moment. It had a moment. I'm not sure if the moment is still there.
It's over, diba?
I'm not. Yeah, I feel like the good ones will last. The good ones will last. But what makes a cool? I think for a person, I think if you're yourself, the things that attracted me to the girls when I first met them was really who they were, their personalities. Like George, her wit, her just look how smart she is. With Liz, just how funny and real she is. So I feel like if you're yourself and you show that genuinely, I think that's the number one. Number two, it's how you carry yourself. But I think confidence and if you know what you're talking about, if you're passionate about something, those are all things that make you, in my eyes, cool. Yeah.
Okay. So, syempre, di ba, it's all about presentation then. And it's not just, that superficial kind of level. Kailangan may substance underneath the, structure. So, dapat may substance underneath the structure. But then again, you are also very, very in tune with the pulse. What's going on, like, in the scene and everything, di ba? The music, the fashion and everything. You were working in fashion for a while, di ba? And, you had a very, very dramatic transformation. Just before your transformation, di ba, you said, I remember you told me na parang, because I wanted to wear better clothes. Like, I wanted to fit in my clothes, diba? Para, what was it like working in an industry where looks were the most, important? And you were a bit overweight at the time. You were an editor and you had everything that was happening around you, diba? It was all fashion and beauty. But how did it feel being somebody that was overweight in a world where it was, considered to be superficial?
Yeah, and I think that's why I chose to become an editor, because if I can't be in front of the camera, wearing these clothes, then I'd rather be putting them on someone, and kind of that's kind of
Ah,
how I put my creativity out in the world. So I was the fashion director for Esquire for 4 years, and I was the men's editor for Preview magazine also for 4 years. And I think that was my outlet, is creating these looks and creating kind of like a fantasy world, that something that I couldn't wear myself because I was overweight. So I still like to, put that on someone else and kind of see how that goes. And that's how I lived that fantasy.
did you have a muse?
Did I have a muse?
Yung pagdating na, kasi si BJ Pascual, ang dami niyang muse, di ba? Like ikaw, pag like when you look at somebody, and like, okay, yeah.
Well, for me, because a lot of my muses were my friends, and even I think they can attest to that. So, Georgina, Liz, Solen, Belle, even the younger sisters, and even like Nicole Anderson, Lorene Uy,
Yeah.
all of them I consider my muses because, I helped them out in one way or another in terms of their career. And, we've been friends for so long. So I would consider them my muses. But kasi in fashion, when I was an editor, I would style mostly guys because it was for Esquire. So I didn't have a muse in that sense, but I did enjoy styling a lot of the well-respected people in the country. I styled Manny Pacquiao, Ben Chan, Richard Gomez. Yeah, so I was the fashion director, so I would style all the covers. So, when they would arrive on set, they were like, "Oh, ba't ka nandito?" And I'm like, "Ako po yung stylist nyo." Of course, I had a team with me who would help me out, but my overall job was to really create the look for the covers of Esquire. So that was such an amazing experience for me because it allowed me to have another creative outlet aside from television.
Yes, that's true. Of course, you were an actor for a long time. You were a child actor. Do you remember being a child actor?
I mean, I tried to delete that from my memory.
Bakit? Di ba meron pa kayong in-endorse na milk? Ano yung in-endorse mo na milk?
Oh,
Nag-endorse
Nestle
ka na...
Twin. Nestle
Ay, isa
Twin.
pa!
Yun lang yun.
Ay, isa lang ba? Okay.
Nestle Twin, yeah. We were with them for so long.
I know. I remember your commercials. I was in grade school, di ba? Pero how difficult was it or how easy was it to turn your back on acting? Kasi di ba parang si Chard, nag-iba kasi kayo, nag-fork in the road kayo. Kumbaga si Chard really pursued a career in acting and you pursued something totally different. Was that a conscious decision on your part? Or was it because parang, okay, if I continue acting, I will overshadow him. So what was it, parang, I mean, decision process. I mean, like, why did you decide to go on a totally different route, considering that from the time you were a baby, your acquiescence was already acting?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Sarah says hi. Well, it was a conscious decision on my end because Chard had gone back to the Philippines before me. I was still studying in the States. And at that time, he joined GMA7 as an actor. And when I would see his schedule, it was something that I really did not want to do, like the 24 hours on set. And acting kasi is it's a skill, much like hosting is a skill. And I just felt like hosting was really something that was more in my lane. And I really admired like the MTV VJs at that time in the States. I would watch Ryan Seacrest, Carson Daly. So I was like, I feel like I can do something like that in the Philippines and give it a different flavor, the local scene. So my mom and I actually had a lot of fights when I first moved back to the Philippines from the States kasi she wanted me to also start acting.
Yeah.
And at that time, may mga offers from GMA na, oh, Chard can be on this show and then you can be in this show. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to start hosting. And then my mom's like, ano ka ba? Lahat ng tao nag-aantay for this opportunity. Ikaw, inaayawan mo, ganyan. So I was like, Mom, I want to do something that I feel like I'm confident with. You know what I mean? So I really pushed for me to become a host. And I wanted to prove to her that I can be equally as successful being a host, even if I chose not to be an actor. So true enough, Mom, if you're watching.
True enough. you were right, diba? You were absolutely right because you are one of the best hosts, like, the GMA has ever produced, diba? And you were not just like a television host. You were a host of, events and parties and everything. Like, you are always at the center. Kumbaga, you are the nucleus of the,
Yeah.
the dynamic party scene of Manila. It's not just that, you feel like, diba, parang we feel like people will say na parang it's so superficial, ganyan, ganyan. But like you said, it's a business. There is really a relevance to it, diba? There is a craftsmanship to
Yeah.
creating the perfect party experience, diba? What
Yeah.
is your creative process?
Sometimes it comes to me in the weirdest places. Like last year, I threw Opulence, my
Yes.
baby, is our
Yes.
Halloween party of last year. And that idea came to me while I was in a plane. Sometimes it helps when I'm traveling because I get inspired by different things. It could be about a movie. It could be an image that I see, and it's just something that triggers me, and I'm like, I want to do something. And last year, I also did an Area 51 party um, with the aliens.
True.
So mga ganon, like I just come up with weird things and I translate that into a physical party.
Opulence Part 2, Sara Labati. Speaking of opulence, because
Yeah.
opulence is the most epic, you virtually, I mean, like, single-handedly changed the face of Halloween in the Philippines, diba? I remember, I think we were in the Johnny Walker party and you sat down beside me. You said, like, okay, Halloween, like 150 to 200 people only. Very exclusive, no
Yeah.
photos. You
Yeah.
have to be there. And then it snowballed into this magnetic, I mean, like,
Mhm.
epic party. Diba?
Yeah.
Like, opulence, like, everyone had to be there. It became
Yeah.
like this huge event and it was quite
Mhm.
successful. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden now we have this whole thing that happened in the world. Diba,
Mhm.
you wanted to create another one, like a sequel or something, diba?
Yeah.
How does it feel that, every single plan that you have, as a sequel to like your most successful parties were suddenly halted by this incredible world event?
Actually, it was kind of depressing, to be honest with you, because of the success of Opulence last year. Brands were already hitting me up. So they already wanted, to solidify the partnership.
Yes.
And everybody was so excited for what are we going to do next. So Feb pa lang, meron na kaming presentation. We were meeting with different brands na. We had a whole deck. We had the theme locked in. Last year, if it was Marie Antoinette, this year, how do we top that? We had so many, creative meetings, and we were really, really excited. And for me, it's just so sad that we can't do that this year, obviously for obvious reasons. But we want to reserve it, hopefully, for next year. We
2021,
can
Dave.
we can do what we were planning for this year. It's one of those things that you kind of just you have no control over.
True.
So you kind of just move on. Obviously, there were so many instances this year where sayang, or I was supposed to be in Europe for the summer. Ang daming moments na sayang, but
Sara
again,
Labati, I had an outfit na. Bakit nauna pa siya? May alam na niya yung theme.
because I told her the theme.
Sinabi, so kasi parang feeling ko kasi, like Mond, when I attended when I attended Opulence last year,
Yeah.
feeling ko, parang it's going to be our Met Ball. Parang our very own version of the Met Ball. Was that the intention behind it when it snowballed into that?
Again, the intention was it was supposed to be a private party for 100, 200 of my closest friends. And it snowballed into like a 700 people mega event that was sponsored by Metro Magazine.
True.
And we had so many sponsors and prizes, and it became this huge thing. So it wasn't the intention, but it was a welcome change.
Yeah.
So it was, and we had a lot of learnings. Kasi as we were going along, it became bigger and bigger. So kami ni Ash medyo nag-aaway na kami, and we were very stressed, but it was worth it at the end. And this year we were gonna do it, but next year we're gonna do it even better.
Yeah, you can do it like in a very big way. I'm very sure.
Yeah.
But it brings me back to like a post that you once shared, like maybe in the middle of the pandemic, in the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know when it was really, but when I read your post, it was something that struck me very well because parang everybody like I like going to parties as well. Pero parang you said that I think in this particular post you were saying na parang everything I do is considered non-essential. So in terms of in terms of like how you dealt with the pandemic and like being introspective and looking at the things that are happening around you and looking at the things that you are passionate about, all of your most passionate pursuits, and it's now considered as non-essential. I'm also
Yeah.
non-essential. I mean, like movie making is non-essential. TV, in an essence, is non-essential. How
Yeah.
does it make you feel that everything that you pursue is considered non-essential?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there were moments in the quarantine where it was, very, very dark and very sad. And, there were moments where I'm like very uncertain and what's gonna happen. All my businesses were shut down. All the things that I do, pop culture, entertainment,
Yeah.
nightlife, parties, events, everything that I do, I couldn't do. And there was no kind of like timeline as to when I can do it again. And there were moments during the quarantine where it would take me to dark places, but I'm so happy that I'm very self-aware. Now I catch myself every time my mind takes me to somewhere dark. I catch myself and try to just think of the positive. Always think of the silver lining. Actually, there's so many things that this pandemic has taught me, and like what's important and what you need to focus on. That doesn't mean though that I'm still not interested in pop culture and fashion and music and
Definitely.
nightlife, but it gave me a different perspective, and I think that's what the learning is throughout this whole thing. But yeah, and now I feel like I'm in a much better place. I think April and May was really, really tough, but June I woke myself up and turned on that switch that says, you know what, you're not going to be sad. Get up, work out, feel better about yourself. I was able to connect with a lot of my friends, even with my family, because before my schedule was like traveling.
Crazy.
I was working towards something, whether it's the next event, the next this, the next travel, the next. I was always going for something. Like I was always doing something. So this allowed me to slow down and reconnect with a lot of my friends, reconnect with my family. So I really appreciate also. I think it taught us a lot of things.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. I mean, like when you're you're pushed to like a corner and say like you stay there for an unlimited period of time. Di ba? Parang you're forced to introspect and you're forced to look at your life and the things that you really, really want for yourself. And parang is it in tune with what the world is going through, di ba? Parang
Yeah.
ako, this is my business and this is my pursuit and I don't know if it's, any help with what's happening in the world. But of course, every single thing that we do is of importance to us kasi nobody can invalidate it, 'di ba? That's hindi pwedeng i-invalidate siya. But then again, 'di ba, parang when you look at your life now, you said that you had a lot of learnings, 'di ba? When you rank it, like for example, like anong mga natutunan kasi parang tayo kapag natkulong tayo in like extended periods of time, 'di ba? Especially for people like us that really really like going out, that are very very, friendly. What are the things that you learned about yourself being trapped inside your home for, an extended period of time? Ano yung natutunan mong bago sa sarili mo?
Well, I learned that I'm not crazy. Thank God that I'm normal. I learned that I still can't cook. So
Walang attempts.
I tried,
Ano
but
try mong iluto?
no, I mean, at least now I have help at home, so I kind of direct her. So I think that's kind of cooking na rin, di ba? Like
Isahin mo yan. Paano ka mag-direct sa help? Isahin
no,
mo
like,
yan.
I find recipes and then I kind of lay out the ingredients, what I want her to change. So I'm a good directing at cooking. That's what I like.
Correct. Actually, you're an excellent director. So maybe at home you're also like that. I mean, you know what you want eh.
I also learned that I have an interest in interior design because the more I look at my place, the more I look at my place, the more I hate it. Like on the third month, I'm like, I hate this place. I need to change this. Like I hate this. I hate this. I hate everything. So, so by the end of it all, I had like mood boards for my kitchen, mood boards for my living room, so I want to change this whole thing. So that's my plan actually after this, when we're allowed now, because workers are still not semi-allowed here. So when we're allowed, I'm gonna work on my apartment and really make it really cool.
Do you want to be able to, build a house for yourself sometime in the future, or you're happy with condo living?
I'm happy with condo living because I see the maintenance that goes into a house, and it's a lot of work. And I feel like, I'm alone, I'm by myself. So there's a lot of space here for me. So I don't need anything bigger, I feel. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
happy
so
with the condo.
yeah, just you and Presley, diba? Okay na yan, ride into the sunset levels, diba? Are there times in this lockdown that you felt like extremely profoundly lonely?
There are days. There are days.
Wait, mag-cheers muna tayo kasi mahirap yung question.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There are days, but honestly, I feel like I'd rather be alone than be stuck with the wrong person, because I also heard a lot of stories about, some couples fighting, some couples breaking up because for the first time in a long time, they're stuck together in a small space. So congratulations to all my friends out there. If you're still with your partner, good job to you guys. You made it through. But yeah, there are days, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I've been single for a while, so it's nothing new.
What is Mond Gutierrez like when he's in love?
When I'm in love,
gusto mo ba uminom muna?
Probably drunk. Maybe it only happens when I'm drunk.
You only feel you're in love when you're drunk. So like, parang baka you never really have, let go. Pero syempre parang, di ba, parang love is a very universal feeling, di ba? Parang ako kasi like in profound moments of sadness during the lockdown, parang you'll think na parang, is it better if I'm locked in with someone or if I'm locked in alone? So mas maganda na lang yung alone, di ba? Kasi yung locked in with someone, trapped ka, tapos wala ka talang choice, di ba? Parang ganyan, di ba? Parang, but then again, you scroll through your phone and you scroll through your SOCMED and you see like, they are doing it quite successfully, di ba? Like we have a lot of common friends that are doing it quite successfully. So like, do you feel like, di ba, parang when we're locked down and when we're in lockdown for like an extended period of time, it's really your relationship with yourself that matters most, di ba? Parang as long as you enjoy being with yourself, you're not gonna be extremely lonely, di ba? It means that the next time, or we hope that there's, yes, you were gonna say something.
I think that's one of the learnings of this whole thing is that I can live with myself. I see a lot of, people that sometimes I'm like, it must be hard because I feel like they can't live with themselves. They always have to project something or, I feel like with me, that was one of the learnings that I'm actually fine. I can live with myself and it's okay. And again, there are moments where I'm like, I'd rather be alone because imagine if there's someone here and something annoys you and they keep doing it and be like, oh, get out of my house.
Wait, like what's the most annoying human behavior for you? Ikaw, like top 3. Like, ano yung parang shit, I'm so annoyed.
When they don't stop talking and they don't get the hint.
Another.
Like when they keep talking to you and you're like, okay.
I think I remember you said like in one of our previous conversations, like parang like I went to this party and this DJ was playing songs of himself. It's like I go to a party and like I would turn on the TV and watch, Guts. It takes guts to be a good.
Yeah, that's the worst. Like
super self-involved.
Imagine coming over to my place and It Takes Guts is on TV. That's the worst.
Is it real what went on in Guts with It Takes Guts, or like the fights and everything? Because we all naman work in production.
Honestly, the sad part is that it's real. That's the sad part. Because it wasn't scripted. Like, you can't tell my mom how to act. So like she'll throw that script in your face. So even if we tell her like, Mom, like, maybe just don't be so intense, like calm down. Like the more you say that to her, the more she won't do it. So, sometimes we would have a little bit of structure because we were also producers. Yeah. So sometimes, you come into set and there's cameras. So you kind of just like, okay, what are we talking about? So sometimes you kind of have to discuss what you're going to talk about. But a lot of the moments on there, especially when we were traveling, we're totally they have so much raw footage. I'm actually scared. of all the raw footage that he has. But yeah, it was 90% real.
It's such a good show, by the way. I love it. And I love Rufa. Like, she would throw like Jake Salvavidas over the ano, and it's like, you know, a plot point. Di ba? Parang,
Ayan, sabi ni at his commenting, she's like, Mom wants to do it again. I'm like,
bakit like, sinong pinaka, like, di ba, syempre, it's a family of personalities, di ba?
Yeah.
I can just imagine your family dinners, di ba? Like, when you go on a family dinner, like, when you're traveling, especially, I mean, like, you were trapped on a ship, on a boat, like, at some point in the series, di ba? You were fighting with Chard, di ba? Like, you were a family of very strong personalities. Sinong nananalo when there is an argument?
Usually it's me.
High five.
No, but actually, tama ka. It's hard sometimes at the dinner table. You know, you kind of have to fight for your limelight. But because we all have strong personalities, and you know, but I feel like I'd rather have it that way than a family of quiet people. I'd rather have, like, you know, personalities. It's more fun and it's more engaging, and we can talk about a lot of different things. But yeah, like, I guess it depends on the topic, kung sino yung mananalo sa conversation. Like, if it's about basketball, then I'm just like...
Wala kang favorite NBA team?
I think the Lakers.
Do you know the players?
I know Kobe.
Wait. Yeah, but he's already dead, so not counted. Mond, di ba, parang a lot of people don't realize that you are actually a twin. That is testament to how individualistic you both are. Like, not just you, but also Chard, di ba? Parang Casey Concepcion, I interviewed her last week, and she said, like, she didn't even know that you guys were twins. So it meant, like, parang you are so separate from each other, meaning, like, you carved your own path, and you are so just so separate from each other that it meant, like, parang sobra talaga kayong poles apart.
Yeah.
So, what makes your connection to Chard important to you? Kasi syempre, di ba, may twin connection, di ba? So, like, in the times that, you know, you've you know, like, you treaded different paths, di ba? Parang you always go back to each other as a sort of, you know, like, touchstone. So, in what ways are you similar to Chard? Because we all can see the glaring difference. But in what ways are you similar to your twin?
Actually, we're similar in a lot of ways, in terms that, you know, again, like, when we put our mind into something, we make sure that we achieve it. I think we're very goal-oriented. I think that, you know, we put our family in a very important place. And Chard is like a comfort zone, especially growing up. And we would, you know, kind of hop from one school to the next, and especially moving from Manila to the States and back to Manila. There was a lot of different, and even when we were in LA, we went to three different schools. And it's kind of like having an automatic best friend. So it made that journey of growing up, not only in the limelight. Imagine growing up as a child actor. You know, you kind of have somebody there that had shared the same experience as you. And I remember, you know, Chard and I would always, like, you know, we didn't need to make friends because we already had each other to sit with at lunch. And then it just so happened that we had a lot of friends growing up. But yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Chard and I are very similar in the same way that we're very different. You know, people tend to forget that when we were growing up, we were like, we're two different people. Stop making us wear the same things.
Pero kasi sobrang iba yung personality talaga. As in, like, Chard is, like, very brooding, and, like, you're more than, you know, parang wow!
Yeah.
Both are really good. I mean, like, you got, like, the best part of the spectrum of either side. So that's really great. Diba?
I think we balance each other out.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, like, that's like the perfect way to put it, diba? So, like, when Chard found out that Sarah was pregnant, were you the first one he told the secret to, or parang sino yung una niyang sinabihan?
I don't think I was the first one, because I don't know. Like, I think it was Elvis. Because, you know, Elvis.
Mas kuya. Wait, do you call him kuya? He's older than you, diba?
No, we don't call him kuya. We just call him Biz. I think Elvis, because I think they were going through that similar journey. You know, Elvis and Alexa, and then Sarah and Chard, they were very serious with each other, very serious relationships. Here I am, like going out drinking. Like, why would he tell me? I probably would forget the next day. So I feel like I was not the first to know for sure.
What's your most drunken night experience? Like, you woke up, parang, oh my God. Kasi this was documented, ha? In It Takes Guts to be a Gutierrez. You were like knocking on the door of Chard. I think that because I watched the entire thing, like all the seasons, diba?
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
My 20s, my late 20s was literally a blur. And I'm open about that because now I've graduated from that and I don't regret anything because it really, made me live my life and experience a lot of different things.
Why would you regret a fun life? I don't regret my fun life, diba?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because a lot of people think that, I'm an ex-party boy. I was able to turn my life around and now I'm probably the most boring person. But my late 20s was literally a blur, but it was such a fun, exciting time for me. I was able to open nightclubs, throw amazing parties, make a lot of different friends from all over the world that I'm still connected to up to this point. It opened a lot of doors for me in terms of businesses and networking and connecting with people. And there were so many more positive than the negatives. Of course, there were some nights where I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have, there's some things that you regret when you're out as much as I was in my 20s. But it was fun, and I was young, so it was fine. The most drunken night, honestly, you would have to ask my friends. I wouldn't remember.
But Mond, relatively, you are scandal-less. As in, when I asked you to, sabi ko, parang Mond, can you go live with me? And I go, are you sure you want me? My life is so boring. And I'm like, no, but it's really a succession of behavior. Na parang even if you get drunk, I've been drunk with you. Like we were drunk in Cebu, we were drunk. I've been drunk with you, but it was never really very sensational or controversial like any other thing, diba? Parang you have always maintained your parameters, and it's parang it feels like parang you've always been so conscious about moving in this kind of super constricted parameters. Do you feel that because you grew up in the showbiz eye, that you had more responsibility to show people that okay, hanggang dito lang ako dapat magbolwal?
I think that's part of it. I think growing up in the family that I grew up in and being in show business, I think it taught me to kind of, have boundaries. Like I know how to have fun. Yes, I got drunk. Yes, I was having fun with my friends, but I was never violent. I was never, I was never anything like that. And I always knew how to handle it. Like I was never carried out of a club or anything like that. I would still manage to walk to my car. So, which is, I feel like I was never really belligerent or I was never really
belligerent. Sabi ko, social ng belligerent.
Hindi ako walwal. Yun yung ibig ko sabihin. I think it's also that. And I always try to lead by example, and especially being a club owner. You don't want to be the drunkest person in your own club. And you don't want to be the drunkest person at your own party,
Yes,
you still have some sort of responsibility because you own the place or it's your party. So you always have to kind of hold yourself together no matter how tipsy you get.
Your sister is laughing. Ha 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 ha. How important is image to you?
It's quite important, I'm not gonna lie. I think the way you present yourself is quite important because I think that's how you make connections, When I travel, the first thing people tell me is like, oh my God, I like your jacket. Where are you from? Or, when I went to Cannes Film Festival, Bella Hadid noticed
Sobrang barkada mo si Bella.
We hung out. She was fun. No, but she noticed me from the crowd. So when I met her, when it was time to meet her officially, she was like, oh my God, I saw you from the crowd. You were the only person laughing at my jokes. Because everybody there was European, so I guess they didn't get her humor. So that's how it started. And at the party, we hung out. So I think the way you carry yourself and the way you present yourself says a lot about you because, when somebody sees you walk in a room, that's how they, automatically see who you are or what you present, how you carry yourself.
In terms of imaging also, di ba, parang you have a very, very well curated, feed on Instagram and everything, di ba? Parang I feel like you didn't even gain weight during the pandemic. So like parang ikaw,
I
parang
did.
you did. So what
I
happened?
did.
So like how did you get it back? So how did you rein yourself back into the territory of fitness?
Yeah, again, I think April and May was like the most cursed months for me because I was like super depressed, super sad. I was like eating sushi bake and ube pandesal and everything that was sent to my house, I would eat. Lahat ng padala kinakain ko. So I was like, oh my God, I can't live like this. And even if I set up a really awesome gym in my condo, I was eating junk food because I was like, you know what, in this workout, I'll just watch it on Netflix or parang you're not in the mood, right? So again, I had to really wake myself up and pull myself together and say, you cannot live like this. You need to be responsible, take action, get into fitness again. So I think June I started every day again working out and it feels really, really good. It's good not only for your physical health, but for your mental health as well.
That's true. Like, I mean, like lately, di ba, your stories, parang nag-workout ka. Like, bukas na kasi ulit yung mga gyms, di ba? And
Yes,
of course, you posted a really, really, delicious thirst trap today. Diba? Parang, in terms of posting, like on your social media, what is your, intentions? What are your intentions behind it?
Depends. Like, I guess when I posted that shirtless photo this morning, it was really because I was proud of myself.
True, in fairness.
Because it's not easy. I mean, it's a lot of hard work and dedication and really controlling yourself, especially with your food, especially with doing cardio in the morning. It's things that you don't want to do, but you have to do it. And once you do it, you feel really, really good. Diba? So
Sorry, go ahead.
The hardest part about working out is getting there or starting. But once you're starting and once you're there, you feel really good about yourself. And you want more of it. So once I got the flow again of everyday working out, and then now, so I think the past couple of months I've been working out every day. So, I was proud of myself, and I'm like, you know what? Let me post this shirtless photo because I deserve it. I deserve this.
It helped all of us. It made all of us have a better day.
Yeah, that was my intention.
How do you feel about people sliding into your DMs? Like girls, guys, gays. I'm sure you get a lot of that, especially when you post something like that. So how do you even get to browse it? Or how do you feel about people sliding into your DMs?
I browse it and I welcome it because for 33 years of my life, I was fat. So, so let me take it in.
Yes.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments. In all seriousness, I really appreciate the words of encouragement, especially there's a lot of people out there that tell me I'm their inspiration, I'm their fitspiration, and that alone to me makes it worthwhile because, again, everyone goes through their different journeys. You don't know what someone's going through. And, working out and the physical transformation is just one aspect of it. It's all about, again, like your mental health and how you're living your life, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like when we look at you, parang we feel like parang again, we can also do it. Kasi parang the transformation is so impressive that everybody can like see that parang even now, diba, parang I think you were very matipid in posting like maybe in the earlier parts of the lockdown, maybe because you were like depressed, like you said, and then but the latter parts, like especially now, like we see that you are back on your feet and you are doing the things that like people really look up to you for, diba? Parang, what is in the future for Mond Gutierrez, especially at a time like this? Parang it's so uncertain, di ba? Parang like when you attend events now, they just send the tote bag to your house, and then they send food to your house, and then everything is online, di ba? Parang this is your business, this is your livelihood, this is something that you are passionate about. So how do you feel, like as a way of wrapping up, how do you feel that it is going to change the way we handle business?
Yeah. Well, for me, again, one of the things that I do is I throw events and I throw parties and I also co-own a nightclub. So that whole thing is not, I feel like it's not coming back in the immediate future. Hopefully it comes back soon, but I don't think it's going to come back in the immediate future. So we've learned how to pivot. So, my events partner, Ash, and I, a lot of our clients that we were supposed to produce physical events for, we now are doing digital events, digital campaigns. We've learned how to be creative in that sense and translate that physical experience into a digital one. And again, a lot of research was involved, a lot of, again, like me and Ash were brainstorming about that. And in terms of the nightclub, I feel so sad because a lot of my friends who own smaller bars were forced to close, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
The Palace, we remain closed for now. Again, hopefully in the future we get to open again and give you guys the awesome experience that you come to us for.
Yes, and I'm sure you'll be the first one to throw the biggest party. But can you imagine when all of this is over? Parang everybody, it's gonna be like one great family reunion. I look forward to that.
I have a feeling it's gonna be a chaotic 2021 in the party scene.
Super.
Because everybody would want to go out.
Yes, and you will be at the top, diba? At the top,
yeah, and
diba? Parang ikaw talaga yung magpapastol sa crowd. Parang, okay guys, let us go and let us get this party started. I mean, I just want to thank you for the contributions that you have made to pop culture. I mean, like a lot of people would, look at you and they would say na parang, Mond Gutierrez, masyado yung social. Hindi namin yan abot. But like, again, like I would say that you are one of the warmest, most generous people that I have encountered. Ako rin parang at the beginning, I would say na parang, sige, kasi parang si Mond, talaga, intimidating talaga. But it's not even true. I mean, you're such a warm person, and I just hope that, with this interview, that everybody knows how warm you are. And, like, parang you really actively and consciously make decisions to make yourself, more accessible and more relatable, diba? What is the intention behind that? Like, to make yourself more accessible? Because it's your true nature, diba? Like, what are the things that make you decide that I really want to present myself to people in the way that I really am?
Yeah. I think in the beginning, again, I was very insecure. I was overweight. I was, I feel like I was wearing all these like loose clothing just because it was not only like to shelter my weight, but it was kind of like I was not really happy with myself. So I think the bitchiness came from that in the beginning, like people thought I was a bitch because I was just like frowning all the time. Like there was a dark cloud above me. Like, now I feel like because I'm more at peace with myself, I think my true personality comes out more, and I'm more at peace with myself, and I don't need to hide anymore. So
it's been an hour. Was that painless?
I can't believe that was an hour already. Grabe.
Sobrang painless naman, diba?
It is, yeah.
Diba? Sobrang painless.
Kala ko ano yung mga tatanong mo sa akin. Sabi ko, oh my God, anong tatanong sa akin ni Judy?
Na-stress ka ba? Na-stress ka?
Because I haven't had an interview in so long.
I know. Because I felt like I really wanted to present you to people in the way that I see you. And that is warm and friendly and, creative. And all of these things. I feel like you rob people of the chance for them to get to know you in the way that I know you, and which is warm and friendly and creative and all of these beautiful things, diba? So I really wanted to give you an opportunity and give myself an opportunity to show everyone what kind of a great person that you are not somebody that we, look up to in a pedestal, like from a family, legacy and stuff like that. But you are really one of the greatest minds in this generation.
Thank you.
Makers. And, I'm really, really, I'm a fan in terms of your creative process. And when I attend your parties, it's not just like a superficial, party event, like it's an experience. And that is what you are able to give people. You're able to give them, a great night that is memorable. That is something that, that will stay with them for a long time. So that is the kind of person that you are, and that is your contribution to pop society.
Thank you so much. And that's really my intention. Every time we create a party, it's not something that you should forget the day before. It's something that you will always talk about. You will always remember. We want special moments to happen in those events and in those parties. And hopefully soon after this pandemic, Corona, when are you leaving us?
I'm so
So,
excited for you. I'm so excited for the things that you're able to create for all of us. Di ba? Parang we are just, gonna be like sitting down and gonna wait for something that Mon creates in the future, especially after this entire world event. I mean, like, kudos to you. I want to thank you again for saying yes to this invitation because, this is like something else. You never give interviews, and like, I'm
yeah.
just so, so happy that you were able to, indulge us.
Thank you so much, G3. Say hello to Julia for me.
Okay, she's up next. So
Yeah.
if there's one thing that you want to leave, like all of your fans and all of your family members that are here, what is the one thing that you learned in this whole pandemic that you can share with every single one that didn't really actually know you before? I mean, in terms of a personal way.
One thing that I learned,
Yes.
okay, I think in the darkest hour, you can only turn to yourself. So you really have to know yourself. You have to be confident with yourself, and really arm yourselves with everything that you need to survive this world. Whether it's reading books, watching documentaries, watching the news, kind of informing yourself, and just being prepared and being ready. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we
That's
are going to read the book tomorrow at parang as early as 8 o'clock. Maraming salamat. I miss you and I
I
hope to
miss you.
see you soon.
I can't wait to get an actual real drink with you next time.
Exactly. So like
Yeah.
cheers and we're gonna beat this. I mean like we're gonna see each other at the end of all of this and we're gonna have a
Cheers.
drink and cheers.
Cheers. Thank you guys for
Bye,
watching.
thank
To all my
you.
friends who
Thanks
watched.
everyone for watching. Rufa. Thank you, Rufa. Thank you guys.
Sarah, my
Bye.
sister. I saw Crystal also. Hi, Crystal.
Yeah. Hi, Krista. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
G3.
Mom.
See ya.